Hello and welcome to EV Focus Now, and today we're going to talk about VW, and which is Volkswagen, of course. And did they take the buzz out of their new ID Buzz microbus? We're going to talk about that today. And also, I would like to say, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the like button if you like the content you're seeing from this channel. I really appreciate everyone who watches. Comments are welcome. I love talking back and forth to people on these subjects. And of course, these are all opinion-based subjects. You know, your opinion may be different than mine, but just based on my what I've seen in electric vehicles, me driving electric vehicles, and my knowledge of them, I like to have conversation about various topics, like this one right here with the microbus. So nostalgia and a unique look that made this iconic van popular in the 70s, and now it's back with a reimagined all-new electric model. It looks really good, by the way. The concept looked great 3 years ago when VW introduced it in a beach somewhere in California, and they stayed very close to the design of the production model. However, to me, VW took away the buzz of the launch of this vehicle, pardon the pun, by the way, in three ways that I feel that, you know, don't get me wrong, I love the vehicle. It's a great vehicle, looks fantastic, but I think they left, you know, a lot of people kind of underwhelmed, and especially with when the vehicle's coming out. So let's go over three things that I think, in my opinion, that they have dropped the ball on with this new VW microbus. So number one, range. From what VW said in their videos, and many of the YouTube videos out there, so if you haven't seen the VW microbus, type it in YouTube. There's many different YouTubers who did reviews on this initial car, bus anyway, and you can see all the features in and outside. So make sure you make yourself familiar with that if you haven't seen any of those videos. But for what VW is saying, and this is the European spec model, so let's be clear about that real quick. Everything I'm talking about is the European spec model, which they debuted on the video about a week and a half ago. So it's about 200 miles of estimated range. That is, you know, not great in my opinion for a vehicle like this that people are going to want to take on road trips, take camping, and just general driving all around. I think the sweet spot would have been in the range of maybe the ID4 Pro, which I own, about 260 miles of range. I think that would have been much better for what they were trying to achieve with this vehicle. And again, this is the European spec, so hopefully VW will increase the 82 kilowatt battery that's on there now to about 100 kilowatt battery for the North American version of the Buzz to get the range that of 260 and maybe even beyond. So that's number one, range. Number two, interior. I know VW wanted to keep the interior styling simple and functional. I feel nothing was improved, as they basically took the same screens and functions of the ID4 and just placed it in the ID Buzz, but they didn't add anything new to the vehicle. You know, the ID4 came out 2 years ago. Well, last year, basically 2021, almost 2 years ago. But the VW didn't improve on some of the things that people didn't like about the ID4 that I felt was a missed opportunity, such like better charging route planning for when you're taking trips, routing you to available and level 3 chargers that work and that are functional. Battery preconditioning, allow the battery to heat up when you're getting to charging station so you can maintain maximum charging speeds. That's a big problem with the ID4 right now. I don't live in a super cold climate at all, so not a big deal, but I noticed just in the winter, you know, we're in the winter right now still, going into spring, it has dropped charging speeds at least, you know, I would say a lot, pretty much, from what I've seen in the summertime. So not bad, getting about 70, 80 kilowatts where I used to get 125 during the summer. So having a battery preconditioning would definitely fix that, and it's something that Tesla does very well, and I wish they had improved that, but maybe it's coming in down the road, who knows. One pedal driving. If you're not familiar with one pedal driving, it's probably not going to be a big issue, but if you are familiar with one pedal driving like I am, it is a big issue, and it bothers me every time I drive that car, because I don't want to hit the brake pedal. I wanted to just do one pedal driving, ease off the accelerator, boom, and it slows down to a stop. And I'm so used to that. So I was hoping they would add that to the bus, but the VW microbus, but they haven't, and maybe they will. Like I said, this is the European spec, and one of the biggest complaints is the capacitive buttons that they have on the steering wheel and infotainment center. A lot of people do not like the feel of them. I'm not really a fan. It's not a big deal, but I'm not a fan. I wish they had regular buttons that you can press to control your infotainment, your climate, things of that nature, radio. But these are things that they just took from ID4 and just punched in, put inside this ID Buzz, and that's it. So I wish they had proved that, but again, that's a European spec model. Maybe they'll do something. I doubt they do anything with the buttons, but maybe they'll do something with the range and, one pedal driving, perhaps, with the North America version. And let's get to number 3. Delivery time. I think everyone was so excited when they saw the launch videos that came out, like I said, a week or 2 weeks ago on this vehicle. But then Volkswagen immediately threw cold water on everyone to cool them down, at least cool down their enthusiasm, by announcing it will not come to North America until late 2023 or early 2024, which is like, really? We're just started 2022. We got to wait almost 2 years to get this. So why don't you just announce it later on then? But I know they're announcing it now because they're releasing it in Europe this fall. Why can't we get it sooner? I don't know. But it's the same thing with Teslas. We get Teslas first here in America. The world has to wait for the newest model to come out 6 months after we get it. So it's the same thing. I get it. But it just was you look at the videos, you're like, wow, this is cool. This, ID Buzz, it looks fantastic. It's an all-electric van. Can't wait to drive it. And you're like, oh, 2024? It kind of just kills your whole enthusiasm about it. But people will wait for it. And so I understand that. And this could be due, to the U.S. model. From what I'm understanding, it's going to have a larger wheelbase than the European model. It possibly will have all-wheel drive, and maybe some other additional surprises and quirks, as Doug DeMiro would say, they may have as well to make this a little better and a little different than the European spec model. I think the max charging speed at 170 kilowatts is decent, and it should come with some kind of limited Electrify America DC free charging plan like the ID4. Who knows? It's really amazing. It's one of the reasons I bought the ID4 is because of the free charging that they offer for 3 years. It's just a great steal. It's almost like getting free gas on your car. You never have to pay when you're on a road trip, or even if you want to use it in your city for local driving. You don't have charging at home, or you live in an apartment building. It is just a great value. You can't beat it, and I definitely am a big fan of that part of what VW offers with their electric vehicle lineup. Even though this van will be priced in the range, I'm going to say between $65,000 and $70,000, I think VW will sell out every one of them right away when the order books open up in the U.S. Despite some of the negatives I pointed out, I think it looks great. I love the how it the wheels, everything. And if I was in the market for a van, I would definitely get one of these. Unfortunately, the van market for me ended about 3 to 5 years ago. As my kids are getting older, we don't need a van anymore. So that's unfortunate, but I think it's a cool vehicle. I think it looks like nothing else on the road, and I think VW has a hit on their hands. I just hope they make it a little bit better and improve a couple of things I mentioned here on this video. But let me ask you, what do you think? Are you in the market for an electric van? Are you thinking about getting this because you just think it looks cool and it's the utility to it and the room? If you like it and you're not worried about some of the things I pointed out, let me know. Or if you have some other things that concern you that you want to mention, please put them down in the comments section below. And I appreciate all your comments. It's really nice to have you guys interact with me on the comments section below, and even on Instagram and Twitter. I really appreciate it. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe, and hit the notification button to stay on top of all my new videos. Thank you for watching, and when it comes to EVs, remain focused. Bye-bye.